Good evening, high school football fans. This is High School Football America for March the 9th, 2017. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of highschoolfootballamerica.com. Welcome to the show tonight. We took a month off, a hiatus, traveled the country. We were in New York for the Super Bowl, hit Chicago, but spent a lot of time in the Lone Star State in Texas with our partners at Crossover, Pat Blizniak, a.k.a. Blizz, down there with us, and several great coaches going around the state giving micro clinics on the Insights program for Crossover. Those guys are breaking down game film and now giving you tendency reports that will make you competitive. So we're going to talk about what we're doing down there on the show next week. I'll actually be going down to Houston, and we'll talk with Pat Blizniak, a.k.a. Blizz, as I say, about this great product that is taking Texas by storm at this point. Certainly can be used in conjunction with your Huddle account. It's all about breaking down game film, and nobody does it like Crossover. I guess that's a good segue into all of our partners at High School Football America, beginning with Echo 1612. Get instant replay on your sidelines 8 seconds after the play is over. Yeah, that's a competitive edge. Show and tell. Kids love to be shown what they did. You know, if a kid says, "Oh, I ran the right route, coach," you can just say, "Well, here you go. This is what you did wrong." And it is a great competitive edge. You can get to all of our partners by clicking on their banner ads at highschoolfootballamerica.com or go directly to Echo at Echo1612.com. Also brought to you tonight by ScoreStream. In season, those are the guys with their great app. They give us our live scoreboards at highschoolfootballamerica.com, and the app is really cool. It's not just for football. If you're out there watching a soccer game, baseball, whatever it is, you can download the app at Google Play or the iTunes Store and score along. Let everybody across the country know how your favorite team is doing, and you can also upload photos and videos. That's ScoreStream. Learn more at scorestream.com. Also brought to you tonight by our good friends at Southern Sport, the debris inhibitor razor, the TDI razor, keeping those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes. They also have a multi-sport, a multi-purpose spat as well, but these spats are awesome. Over 20 colors. You can get your logos on it. This is something you got to check out. Players, if you hate those pellets in your shoes, and I do when I'm on the sidelines, especially some of these fields that have those old pellets, the fill hasn't been taken care of in a while, well, the debris inhibitor razor can keep those out of your shoes. And if you like to spat just for the cool look of it, well, you know what? You need to get these because it saves a lot of money on tape. $4 a roll. The debris inhibitor looks really great, and again, keeps those pesky rubber field turf pellets out of your shoes. Get a special discount on your order at TDI Razor with a U, R-A-Z-U-R, TDIRazor.com. Use the code HSFA, and you will get a discount on your order. And I was actually in Chicago just earlier this week down at Phillips Academy, inner city school there in the Chicago public school system, talking with Troy McAllister, a guy that we helped out. He's been on the show here. We gave, through our partners, we were able to have our partners donate the spats to him, Crossover donated to him, and so did Echo. And boy, were they so happy to talk about how that technology helped them this past year. And as Troy said, by the second or third week of the season, the senior leadership there, and Phillips won the 4A championship in 2015, the first Chicago public school team to do that in over 30 years. But Troy McAllister, who's doing a wonderful job there at that inner city school, told me how much the kids loved wearing the spats. So check out all of our great partners here at highschoolfootballamerica.com by going to our website. And I want to remind everybody that the Coach's Job Board is popping along. We've had, I think, over 700 jobs posted so far this year. Right now, we're well above 200 as far as active openings. If you have an opening, you can email us at jobposting@highschoolfootballamerica.com. It's free. It's a great way to find your next job. All you have to do is go onto the website there, click in the navigation tab, Coach's Job Board, and then you can search by position by a keyword, meaning state, a city, whatever it is you want. It will all pull up for you there very quickly and very easily. Follow us when we're not on the air by following us on Twitter. Now, it used to be HSFB America, but I'm going to come down on Twitter here a little bit. We're a media company. We've been doing this for a long time. Have a lot of followers, over 5,700, I believe, at this point. Well, they wouldn't verify us, make us official. That's what they're supposed to do for the media types. So we changed it to my name. So we've got a new handle out there. Although if you're already following us, don't worry about it, because you'll be able to. You continue to be our followers. But the new Twitter handle for High School Football America is Jeff Fisher Media. Jeff Fisher Media is what you need to do to follow us. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook as well, and also on Instagram. Great show for you tonight. We're going to kick off here in just a couple of seconds after words from our sponsors with a great interview with Steve Hatchell, the president and CEO of the National Football Foundation, a nonprofit that started back in the late 40s. Really, they do a wonderful job of promoting the game of amateur football. They operate the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia, and Steve Hatchell is going to join us and talk about a lot of things. It's a wide-ranging interview, and then after that, we're going to go back to my hometown. The Easton Red Rovers, one of the best programs in America, over 800 all-time victories back in 1948 when they hired Bob Root. Since that time, they have always hired from within the staff. At the end of this past season, Steve Shiffert was not asked back. Steve, the all-time winningest coach at Easton, caused some controversy in the community, but they have now hired a new coach. He was on Steve's staff. As a matter of fact, he played under Steve when Steve was coaching under Bob Schreiber, another great legendary coach at Easton High School. Jeff Brado is the new head coach at Easton. We're going to talk to him about the pressures of taking over one of America's premier high school football programs, and we got that and a little bit more on the show tonight, so stick around. If you've missed any of our past shows, we're now well over 150 shows that we started doing back in July of 2011. You can go on to highschoolfootballamerica.com, click on the audio tab in the navigation tab there, and you'll have all of the shows there for you for free. It's been a who's who of high school football over the last 5+ years here at highschoolfootballamerica.com. All right, we're going to take a break, hear from all of our partners, and then come back. When we come back, we're going to talk with Steve Hatchell of the National Football Foundation. He's the CEO of one of America's great organizations supporting high school sports, specifically high school football, I should say, and Steve will talk with us when we come back. This is High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field Turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover with a K.com/football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Once again, in 2017, High School Football America teaming up with USA Today High School Sports to give you great national high school football coverage from around the nation and specifically from Southern California. Check them out at USA Today HSS.com. Well, we're back from the February hiatus that we always take, and excited to talk some football here at the beginning of March as we're getting ready for spring ball around the country. And you may remember before we went on break, we were talking with Phil Camp about the National Football Foundation's showcases for them around the country. I had a chance to check out the one here with former UCLA head coach Terry Donahue in Southern California, and they did them then in Houston, North Carolina, and Florida. Very successful. And now, as promised from that show, we're going to bring in Steve Hatchell, the president and CEO since 2005 of the National Football Foundation, a nonprofit that began in 1947. Main goal here, promote and develop amateur football, just like we try to do here. And Steve Hatchell's here to join us, talk about their scholarship program, the College Football Hall of Fame, and a lot of other things, because I know Steve has a lot that he wants to talk about our great sport. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you. Nice to be with you.
Yeah, well,
appreciate it.
Well, we're glad to have you on here. I really was impressed with what Coach Donahue and his troop of volunteers did out here in Orange County. But let's dial it back for the listeners that aren't familiar with the National Football Foundation. Give you that opportunity to give the elevator pitch and tell everybody around America what the NFF is about.
Well, you're very thoughtful, and one of the issues that we have since we've been around beginning in 1947 is we do not have a good elevator speech, and so we like to make sure that people don't nod off when we talk about it. But there's three things that the foundation does. We preserve the history of the game. So the game started in 1869. We started in 1947 with General Douglas MacArthur, Grantland Rice, the great sports writer, and Red Blake, the legendary Army football coach. He's got more people in the Hall of Fame than any coach ever in the history of college football. And the whole idea is we talk about the history of the game, preserve the history. Let's learn from what we did in history. The second thing that we do is to promote the present, promote everything that goes on in football right now. And then the third aspect is prepare for the future. Are we going to have a future for football? Are all the things that we're doing now going to hold up and make it a viable sport into the future, because it means so much to all of us? So those are the three things that we do. We run the College Football Hall of Fame. We give out millions of dollars worth of scholarships every year to the top scholar athletes around the country. And again, keep in mind that we have history on our side. Since we've been doing this since 1947, we have had a chance to touch base and congratulate some of the greatest leaders that this country has had. And we believe in the sport. We believe in everything that it does, and that it still is one of the most wonderful things in our country. And that we need to fortify it and make it as good as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably a good segue for everybody just tuning in. High School Football America talking tonight with Steve Hatchell, the president and CEO of the National Football Foundation, organization with well over 100 chapters around the country in 47 states. So you can learn more by going to footballfoundation.org. And, it's the talk of the town, if you will, nowadays, safety in the game. And, certainly many of the coaches that we have on this show talk about the importance of education and letting people know that that spotlight that's shining on concussions, not every person out there talking about it may have all the information that they need. So I know you have had the vision to start the Football Matters to Me campaign, which is part of footballmatters.org at the NFF. Let's talk a little bit about the safety of the game right now and what you guys are doing to make sure that people the parents out there and the coaches are getting the proper information. What do you think the biggest misnomer is right now, and what is the NFF's message?
Well, there isn't one other than as we like to say, to give some perspective. And in this day and time where everything is done so quickly, so fast, we live by tweets, the perspective gets lost. And what we try to emphasize all of the time is that this sport is still terrific. It's safer to play now than ever before. We quickly add, we have some knuckleheads that play the game. We have some people that take advantage of the game. But for the most important part, the rank and file is that this is one heck of a game to play. We've got coaches that are dedicated to it. We've got people all over the country who believe that there's a huge upside to playing the game, and they promote it. And they do all that they can to show that you play and you go on and you're going to have a great life. The concussion issue is a big one. It's convenient fodder for a lot of people who don't like the sport. You can get a concussion in football. I've had them. But we have people on our board of directors such as Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, Ronnie Lott, Lynn Swan, Archie Griffin, Archie Manning, who all played, who are not suing the NFL, who went on to have great careers in life, and like to point out the fact that they had concussions, but they still became great leaders in this country. And so the perspective is to make sure that the equipment is good, to make sure that the schools have the proper medical care when a kid goes out to practice and play in games. All of the male members on our staff here played football. I had a son who was a really good high school football player here in the state of Texas. We would verify the value of the game. He played at a very high level, even played in one of the all-state games at the end of the year. So we've been there and we've seen it. Can you get hurt? Absolutely. But you can get hurt in a lot of things. And let's give it some perspective that this is we think it's a great sport. We think it's the best sport. And so we like to highlight the values in it. We think that all of the medical, the whole medical world right now is so focused on doing the right things when it comes to concussions. There are so many protocol issues that are taking place right now that it's very easy to say that this sport has never been safer. And we don't turn around and say, hey, here's some things. But if you want to talk perspective, there are more concussions in girls' soccer than there is in all of high school football. And that's not just us making it up. These are all of the medical people around the country that have come and published all of that information. So we say, well, how do we make football better for the future? Well, educating all of those that are involved, from coaches and trainers and others, the latest in equipment, the latest in protocol. What are you doing for practice? What are you doing for heat protocol? What are you doing in games? What are you doing to tackle and block properly? And I think it's not only paying off, but I think we've made the game even better and safer at the same time.
Couldn't agree more with you. Steve Hatchell is on the line, President and CEO of the National Football Foundation. You can learn more, become a member at footballfoundation.org. Going to have a wide-ranging conversation here over the next several minutes, and I want to try and get everything in if we can. I mentioned going into that last question that Football Matters to Me is a campaign you came up with. I know you're also doing some stuff reaching out to mothers and with kids in the sport and all that. Tell me a little bit about what Football Matters to Me and the website and the what that does to kind of bring this whole message together that you just were talking about.
One of the things that's been of great benefit to us is that we've had some very strong advertising agencies in the country that believe in our mission, and they have done some research for us free of charge, which makes the research that they find even more important, and I think more valuable, because the people can't come to us and say, well, you're just looking for your own viewpoint. And the viewpoint is simply this, that the messaging that's out there, especially if you're a young mom, that football is too tough, that you're going to get hurt if you play football. You're going to have issues in life later on if you play football. And so how do we stop that narrative? There are those that would tell you that the negative forces in football out there are they're smart, they're strategic, and they're mean. And so you've got to come back with what we think is a very mature, measured response to the threats that are at the game. And so these advertising agencies said, well, let's do a little research. And if indeed the numbers are softening, tapering off, more of a plateau than anything of young guys playing football, meaning from middle school down, what are the factors? What are the reasons? What are moms saying about that? So in our whole campaign of Football Matters is, A, highlight the guys that have played football at all levels, high school and college. You know, Jamie Foxx played high school football. President Gerald Ford played college football. Jeff Immelt, the head of GE, is an outspoken proponent of the game of football. Mark Harmon played football in college, etc. We have thousands of people that have raised their hand and said, hey, put me in, coach. I have a story to tell about what football meant to me. Not just the great headline people of a Mark Harmon, but guys that are doctors and lawyers. The mayor of Dallas, Mike Rawlings, who is very strong, very popular, very good, played football at Boston College. We have these at all levels. And Football Matters is to highlight those guys who have played. They haven't sued their colleges. They haven't sued the NFL. They haven't sued all kinds of people. They played, learned from the game, and went on to be very successful. And the other thing that we found was that in order to reach moms with the clutter that's out there, and my daughter-in-law has 2 young kids, and we talk about this all of the time. She's going to let her son play. What we learned today in today's world is that moms want to talk to moms. Mm-hmm. Jeff's mom wants to talk to Steve's mom to say, are you going to let him play? They don't get anything from television that they see at an NCAA game or an NFL game that, well, look what's going on. It's, what do you know about this? How do we deliver a message to moms that it's okay to have their sons play? And so through Football Matters, we try to focus on Mom, it's okay, because we have moms talk to moms. What does the sport mean? What does it mean to you, Mom, to have your son play? Were you worried? Absolutely, we were worried, but here's how it goes. And that's been the case forever through the history of the sport. We think we're having some effectiveness to it. The numbers keep growing with Football Matters, meaning those that follow that website. Mm-hmm. And we think that we're pushing back as best we can against an effort that's pretty well organized and pretty nasty against football.
Yeah, I agree. And just to give people a perspective, we promoted a couple of the stories you had on Football Matters. Brian Dennehy, famous actor, played high school football in New York and then Columbia. And then I like the one there in Texas, Texas Congressman Mike Conaway, going back to the first championship at Permian. So, folks, there's good stuff to learn if you go to this website. Great stories. It's storytelling. That's what it is. It's footballmatters.org. We're talking with Steve Hatchell tonight on High School Football America, CEO, president of the organization. You can learn more at footballfoundation.org. And Steve, one of my favorite things that I've had a chance to cover for all of my years, and I loved it back in Pennsylvania, look forward to it every year, is the scholarships. Your chapter there in the Lehigh Valley in Eastern PA was awesome, and you get to see both sides of the sport. Certainly you have the great players there, but you also may have a kid that may not be the greatest player on the team, but is getting it done in the classroom. Tell us a little bit about the scholarship program and how important it is to your organization to reach down into that high school athlete.
Again, when we come back and say, let's talk about perspective, that the way the media is today, and I don't want to sound like others, but the media just talks about the negative. When a guy comes out and he's going to sue the NFL or he's going to sue his college, and something happened that he didn't feel like life went the way that he should, we come back and have thousands of stories of people who played at all levels who will stand up, and they do often, all around the country, in all 50 states, and say, look, I played football, and here's where I am today. And within all of that, too, are thousands of young men every year at the high school level who distinguish themselves as terrific students and terrific football players. And the mission of the National Football Foundation in our chapter program, we have 121 chapters in 47 states. And so we touch base with roughly 5,000 high schools and 500,000 high school football kids every year through the chapter system. And the 3,000 events that the chapter system runs throughout the country will give out about $1.2 million worth of scholarships to the top scholar athletes in these high schools around the country, in all of the big cities, et cetera, who are going on to college. Not necessarily to play football. They just distinguished themselves as great football players and great students when they were in high school. And they are the ones that will then come back and will talk to the chapter people. They'll talk to their colleges and say, look, I played the game. Look where I am now. And we have thousands of people that have distinguished themselves with that, and we're very proud to be kind of the tip of the spear in highlighting guys who have played and gone on to do wonderful things in life.
Absolutely. Well said. And like I said, I enjoyed covering it and looking forward to it every year. Steve Hatchell on the line here, head of the National Football Foundation, a nonprofit, been around since 1947, doing great things. And I had the pleasure before the College Football Hall of Fame moved out of South Bend to check it out there. I hear the move to Atlanta has been a good one. It's a special place. Let's touch upon that before we let you go. I know it's probably one of the things you're very, very proud of. Tell us about the new facility and what it does and fits into this overall big message that you've been talking about.
Football Foundation started the Hall of Fame, not only the building, but the concept of putting people in the Hall of Fame in 1951. And so when we have a job like we have here, my job, we feel like we're custodians of this history for a brief span of time. The team that we have here at the foundation, this group that we have right now, we've all been together 12, 13 years. And we feel like we've just been custodians. And how do we make the sport better through the things that we do? The Hall of Fame building itself started roughly in 1952. They had a Hall of Fame class in 51, but then they started to have a building in the early 50s in New York. So we've had 4 Hall of Fames, meaning buildings. And as we try to recognize the top football players in the country. And keep in mind, since 1869, there have been roughly 5.2 million young men that have played the game of college football. And so we needed a place to showcase the first-team All-Americans, which is how you get in the Hall of Fame. You have to be a first-team All-American. Or if you're a coach, you have to have 100 wins and have coached 10 years to get into the Hall of Fame. And so how do we salute those people? So we've had halls of fame. We had a very nice one in South Bend, Indiana, but it's not where you'd get a lot of traffic, to be candid. And if our whole focus is to showcase the sport, we want to showcase the heroes of the sport where people can see it. People can learn from what they did and the message. And so we had an opportunity to move to Atlanta. And the good people in Atlanta, and of course it's a very dynamic, vibrant business center for the world, and it is the center of football in the southeastern part of the United States, said, if you guys would move here, we'll build you a great Hall of Fame. And it's a long story of saying we got this one right. This is a terrific Hall of Fame. All in, it's about $80 million. It's highly interactive. And the goal was to captivate young people when they go there, not just to look at old helmets and jerseys and things like that, but to have all sorts of electronics that would bring people back and salute the game. So we're very proud, very excited about it. We wish it was on wheels, that we could take it to California and take it to Chicago and have everybody see it. But it clearly is a bucket list thing, and we're now... the feedback that we've had, we've been open roughly 3 years, a little less than 3 years, is that people say, hey, this is on our bucket list. And so we get excited when a dad shows up and he's got his boys with him and say, hey, we got to go see this. And then they tell us, we ran out of time. We were here 3 hours and we need more time, and then they've got to leave. But we would strongly encourage people to go if you like your sport, because there's something there for everybody, and every school is represented, which we're very proud of.
Well, we're looking forward to traveling to Atlanta for the birth of our first grandson coming up in June, so I'm going to put it on my list. It's on there to check it out. I'm looking forward to it. And I guess the last thing, Steve, as we send you off here, if we've got some people out there that have been listening to this saying, wow, this is great, they've checked out the website and that, how can people get involved with the National Football Foundation? I'm going to give you that chance for the elevator pitch on how to get people involved.
Well, first of all, our chapter system is what you might say is really grassroots. And I think if they go to the website, just send us an email, say that, we live in Cleveland, we live in Laguna Beach, how do we stay involved with the game? And we do that through the chapters. We also have a very robust media system here where I think last year we sent out roughly 262 press releases, which is everything on updates of the game throughout the entire year. So we have This Week in College Football History. We put out a listing of all of the football games on for each week, what network they're on, usually who the announcers are. We have Chalk Talk every Monday that goes out around the country that has a whole potpourri of things, from who passed away, what are the scheduling changes for schools coming up, all of the things that you'd want to know about football. And for anybody that wants to be involved, just go to the website of the National Football Foundation and plug in, and we can get you on the list. We invite people to do that. There's no cost, and gives you an opportunity to really follow the sport of football and to be part of all of the really good things that are happening, and the exciting things that make this the great game that it is.
And will continue to happen for decades to come. Footballfoundation.org is where you go to learn all this. And it's been a pleasure, Steve. We could probably have gone on the entire hour of the show here and talked about just things that have to do with this great game and what it does, and like you said, how it positions people to succeed in life. So we really appreciate you joining us tonight and educating the listeners out there a little bit about the NFF. And here's to a great 2017, and I look forward to checking out the hall in June. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Really good to be with you.
Very welcome. Taking a break. When we come back, heading to Easton, Pennsylvania. They've got a new coach, 800-plus wins for the Red Rovers, and they continue to hire from within side as they bring on Jeff Brado. Since 1947, they always hire within the staff, and Jeff Brado takes over one of the most successful high school football teams in the country. We'll talk with him when we come back. You're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field Turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass-playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. If you're scouting your opponents without Crossover's game film breakdown platform, you're missing an opportunity to get a huge edge over the competition. Crossover's service lets you upload game film from your hard drive, video camera, or other websites like Huddle. Their team of football experts will then clip and tag the game with player and formation info so that when you log into your account, you can filter the clips however you'd like. They'll also automatically prepare a comprehensive tendency report and down and distance report for your staff so you can see exactly what your opponents like to call in specific situations. We all know that every coach spends countless hours preparing before a game. It's not about the time you put in, it's about what you do with that time. That's Crossover's biggest advantage. It allows you to use your prep time more efficiently and get an even deeper level of insight since you don't have to waste time setting up the film. Check them out. You're going to love them. You can sign up for a quick free demo at crossover.com/football. That's crossover.com/football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by USA Today High School Sports. Once again in 2017, USA Today High School Sports and High School Football America teaming up to give you great national high school football coverage and coverage specifically from Southern California. Check them out at usatoday.hss.com. Well, time to take a journey back to the old hometown here on High School Football America. Tonight, you know me, I take the boy out of Pennsylvania, but not Pennsylvania out of the boy. Easton High School, one of the all-time winningest high school football programs in the country, 800-plus wins, and they've got a new coach. His name is Jeff Brado, a longtime assistant there, and just a couple of weeks ago got the main job taken over for Steve Shiffert. Some big shoes to fill there, and Jeff's on the line right now to talk about taking over the reins of one of America's best high school football programs. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Hi, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's great to have you on here. You've been there for a long time under Steve, so I guess the first and the most obvious question is, how excited are you? And now that it's kind of sunk in that you have the reins of this program, what's going through your mind as you get ready for 2017?
Well, you know what? It's very exciting. I mean, I spent 24 years with Steve, and I learned quite a bit from him. And obviously, he's been the most successful coach that we've ever had at Easton. So I hope to continue a lot of the things that he taught me, and it is exciting. I think basically over this last weekend was when it really sunk into me, because I hadn't really slept for like a week and a half after I got the job, but finally it sunk in, and it's just awesome. It's awesome, and I'm excited, and most of all, the kids are excited for something a little bit new, and they're working their tails off in the weight room already. So there's a lot of great things that are going on.
Talking to Jeff Brado tonight on High School Football America, the longtime assistant at Easton, now the head coach, taking over for Steve Shiffert. Should mention Steve's a good friend of mine. All-time wins leader, as you said, lifetime record there, 216, 89, and 1. So some big shoes to fill there, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But for the listeners around the country, I mentioned 800-plus wins. There's a handful of schools that are in that category. Let's educate the people a little bit about the tradition of Easton, especially since you're an alum as well. You went to school there and played there. To kind of summarize what it means to have the reins of this program and what this program means to the community, et cetera.
Well, I mean, to me, obviously, it's extremely important because I grew up here in Easton. I've never left Easton. I was the kid who used to, I said this before, I used to sneak on to Cottingham Stadium and jump the fence when I was a kid and pretend I was guys like Billy Houston and Lendell Jones and stuff. I ended up being a lineman, not a running back, but still. So it's really been ingrained in me since I was a little kid. And being able to play here, I graduated here in 1988, and Steve was actually my line coach when I was here. But the community is just so passionate about football, whether good or bad or whatever. But they rally around the football program, and it means so much to this community, and it means even that much more to me, because I've been a part of it since I was a little kid.
Wow, you just gave me a flashback there. I started doing Easton football games at WEST in 1974, so I just showed you how old I am. But Billy Houston, Lendell, those are some names that take you back, and I'm going to probably hop all over the place here because obviously I know a lot about what goes on at Easton. But you mentioned Cottingham, which I always say to people, I've said it multiple times over 6 years in the show, one of my favorite stadiums to play. An old concrete, it's old. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, it is at one of America's historic stadiums. What's your how would you describe Cottingham Stadium to others out there?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's old school. It's concrete, like you said. The bathrooms aren't the best of bathrooms, and it doesn't have all the modern facilities. But you know what? We're not a modern facility kind of town. We're old school, blue collar town, and I think that stadium fits perfectly. And it's right in the middle of the city. And I talk to coaches all the time about stadiums and where to play. And I think by far Cottingham Stadium is not only, of course, our favorite place to play, but there's a lot of schools around our area that absolutely love coming to Cottingham Stadium because of the atmosphere. And like I said, it's located right in the middle of the city. So it's just an awesome atmosphere.
Yeah, and real grass, I might add, which makes me excited. Jeff Brado on the line tonight on High School Football America, the new head coach at Easton High School in eastern Pennsylvania, right along the Delaware River. We're going to talk about your traditional battle coming up here in a little bit against Phillipsburg on Turkey Day. But, one of the interesting things with your hire is now Easton has this longevity and this kind of umbilical cord that runs through the program dating back to 1948 when Bob Root took over. The names, they're great. Wayne Grube, Bob Shriver, and now, Steve Schiffer, and now your name goes in there. Tell me about the pressure on you. What do you feel when you hear those names, because they mean something in that community?
That's a pretty impressive list of guys there. And, but I think it goes to the tradition of community in that we've only had 4 previous head coaches since, I think it was 1948, I think it was.
Yep.
And so, obviously I have a lot to live up to, but Bob Shriver was my coach when I was in high school, and he's a guy who was probably the biggest mentor to me, not only on the football field, but in the classroom as well. And that's a guy who I really wanted to kind of model myself after, and he's the reason why I do what I do, not just coaching football, but also teaching kids here at Easton. He was such a big part of that, and so I know it means a lot to him that I got this job as well. I spent some time talking to him, but, it's just to be able to be associated with those guys is awesome. And I do realize that I have a lot to live up to, and I'm up to the challenge.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I, again, I'm dating myself, but had the honor and the pleasure to know Coach Shriver very well and Schiff. But I also knew Bob Root from my time up in the Poconos where my grandparents had a cabin, and Wayne Grube as well when he went to my high school at Wilson there. So it is quite an impressive group of high school coaches that dedicate their life to student athletes out there. Jeff Brado is on the line, the new head coach at Easton High School. And I guess the next question would be, since you and Schiff have that umbilical cord going on there, once you got the job, what have you talked with him yet? Any advice? How did that turn out?
I haven't really talked to Steve too much. I know the weekend before we had the job interviews we were working at, I was helping him with a football clinic out in Allentown, and I talked to him for a little bit about it, and he seemed excited and was very supportive of me, hoping that I got the job. And then once I did get the job, he actually sent me a note wishing me the best of luck. I haven't necessarily sat down and talked to him at length yet, but I'm hoping to do so very soon.
Sure. Jeff Brado on the line. And, the next question is, you said they're already in the weight room working. What kind of fingerprint are you going to, the foundation is there, obviously, but what's your thumbnail print on this? How does the program change, if at all? Have you thought about that? And staff, have you kept some staff members? Where are you going with all that?
Well, the staff question, we have to fill some jobs, and they had to post a job. So it's going to be probably by the end of next week until, I conduct some interviews and stuff like that. So the staff is not set in stone. There's a lot of work to do. But as far as the kids, we got a bunch of young kids back from last year who got a ton of experience. I think we played with 6 or 7 sophomores last year. And we had them back in the weight room. As soon as we got back from Christmas break, it was like January 5th or something like that. They were down there, and the assistant and I with the kids. They've been working real hard. And like I said, they're extremely excited about what's going on. And I think the biggest thing that I'd like to accomplish, especially very soon, is we need to get the Easton football community back together again. It seems like we've been kind of splintered a little bit over the last couple of years. And my goal is to get everyone back on board with us and build this excitement back up for Easton football, especially with our youth football programs. And we're going to have our kids do some community service and get involved with the community, because it's not just the football team, it's the entire community that we represent. So we want to bond with them and do a lot of great things with them as well.
Yeah, it's one town with one team. We have that out here in Southern California, just down the road, and in Laguna Beach. So I get that. You gotta reconnect, and one of the best ways to do that, and Steve did it real well, which was winning on Thanksgiving Day against Phillipsburg, the Forks of the Delaware battle. For those listening, Easton Peaburg is one of the best rivalries in all of America. Played every Turkey Day at Lafayette College in Easton. The schools, the communities separated just by the Delaware River. So tell me a little bit about that. You've played in it. You've coached without having to get the pressure of needing a win, so to speak, because it doesn't go under your name, but now it does. Tell me a little bit about how much you're looking forward to the rivalry.
Well, the rivalry is awesome. And, you could say it's one of the greatest high school football rivalries. We obviously think that it is the greatest high school football rivalry in the country. I know on both sides of the river we can agree with that. And it's something that you think about 365 days out of the year. It's not like we wait until the week before Thanksgiving. We've already been thinking about Peaburg since the day after Thanksgiving. And it's just an unbelievable feeling every year, even as many years as I've been involved with that game. It's just an awesome feeling walking out there in front of 15,000 people, and you get chills down your spine every single year, and it never gets old. And obviously it's going to be even more pressure packed for me because of the position that I'm in. But like I said, that rivalry is such an important part and such a great rivalry to be a part of. It makes me very proud that I can lead our boys on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I have no problem. I'll echo that it is the greatest. I've been back to it twice in the last 5 or 6 years, and your athletic director there, Jim Prokrivsak, always hooks me up. I can spend the time on the sidelines with him and some of the old people there. But even Mom knew when I came back traveling across the country, she said, "Are you going to the game?" And I knew exactly what she meant, which gets into an interesting thing that you face too now as the head guy. You faced it as assistant as well, and I hope I described this properly to the listeners, is, the importance of this Turkey Day game. It falls in the middle of the state playoff run, which makes it where, and you've done it multiple times over the course of the last decade, where it's possible that Easton can play a playoff game. Usually, I guess it used to be the district championship. I don't know if it's the same way. You play that on a Friday, and then you come back and play on Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, and then it's possible on Saturday you play a deep game in the state playoffs. Explain that to the listeners, because that's a hurdle that you have to take. And I guess the way I'm going to set it up is you'll never play JVs on Turkey Day. You'll always play, and that can affect that Saturday game. Could you put that into perspective for the listeners out there? Because it's unusual.
It is unusual, but it's one of those things that people don't understand unless you're here, unless you live here, and unless you understand the tradition behind the Easton Peaburg game. We can talk about it with other people all we want, and people think we're nuts for playing, three games in 8 or 9 days or whatever. But listen, they're Easton kids, and they're tough, hard-nosed kids, and we've done it before. We played on Thursday and actually won on Saturday, so it's not like it can't be accomplished, but you can never take away that tradition of Thanksgiving Day, and it's not like I said, it's not like we're going to take it easy and play kids who normally don't play, because that game right there is the most important game that the kids in this community play. But like I said, if anyone can do it, Easton kids can do it, because they're tough kids, and they don't need a lot of rest. They can get back out there in 2 days and get the job done.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jeff Brado on the line, wrapping up our interview here on High School Football America. He's the new head coach at Easton High School in Pennsylvania, the eastern part of the state. And I guess the final question, Coach, you got a little bit of time here. I'm not sure what week 1 is, if that's at home or away, but take us into the crystal ball here. If I were to say to you, it's now September 1 or thereabouts, and it's time to come out of the Root Memorial field house there at Cottingham Stadium. You're going to lead the troops out. Tell us what's going to happen, aside from the fact your heart's probably going to be beating a little bit.
Yeah, I just hope I don't trip and fall coming out of the locker room. But no, we actually open up at Stroudsburg away, and then we have a couple of home games after that. So we'll get the we'll get the boys ready. And like I said, it's new to me because I spent the last 20 years up in the press box, so I haven't been down on the field, which is going to be a great experience for me. So everything will be exciting, and I know the boys will be ready to play.
Well, Coach, appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. So we wish you nothing but success there and keep that tradition rolling. And hopefully we'll get to talk to you down the road here and see how things pan out for you. But thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Very welcome. Jeff Brado, the new head coach at Easton High School in Easton, Pennsylvania. And that's going to do it for tonight's show. Going to be back with the big show next week as we'll be down in the, we won't be in Texas next week. It'll be a couple of weeks from now with Crossover. If you're in the Houston area, we're going to be sending out invites to invite you to our micro clinic. We feed you and give you a great look inside at Crossover, their game film breakdown and insights. Don't forget to patronize all of our partners here at High School Football America. Echo 1612. Get instant replay on your sidelines 8 seconds after the play's done. Put Crossover and Echo together. Boy, do you have a competitive edge when it comes to going after that W come the 2017 high school football season. Also brought to you tonight by Southern Sport, the good makers of the TDI Razor, R-A-Z-U-R, TDIRazor.com. Keep those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes. From our good friends at Southern Sport with their American-made product, you can get a discount on your order by going to TDIRazor.com. The code is HSFA. And brought to you tonight by ScoreStream. Check out the app and score along when you go out and watch your favorite team play. And all you have to do is download it. It's for free at Google Play and in the iTunes Store. Want to thank both of our guests on tonight's show. Just heard from Jeff Brado, the new head coach at Easton High School in Pennsylvania. And we want to thank Steve Hatchell from the National Football Foundation, the CEO and president of that great organization, for joining us. If you've missed any of the show tonight, well, you can just simply go back and listen to it in our archives. Every show is free, and it's a real who's who. You got a little cold day or a rainy day or even snow at this point in the season, feel free to just go back and listen to each and every show. Easy to download, all at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Again, if you have any job openings, you want to post them up and get a great audience to check it out, email us at jobposting@highschoolfootballamerica.com. Over 200 active openings currently at highschoolfootballamerica.com. And follow along until we join you back here next Thursday by checking us out on Twitter. We've got a new handle. It is Jeff Fisher Media. Jeff Fisher Media, HSFB America. It's still there. We own it, but everything's been transferred over to Jeff Fisher Media. Check us out at Facebook, which is facebook.com/High School Football America, and also on Instagram, where our handle is High School Football America. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from Southern California. You've been listening to High School Football America.